Hey, and we're live, ladies and germs. And right now, it looks like OBS is doing okay for the most part. It sometimes dips into 3-bar territory, and sometimes the kbps bottoms out a little bit, but then it slowly creeps its way back up. So right now, it's doing okay, unlike the stream from a couple days ago. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully it won't shit the bed like it did Sunday morning. But yeah, we're doing the review here today on Tuesday, March the 5th, 2024. It is 8:30 p.m. Yes, it's coming a couple days late. I just haven't really felt up to doing the review the last couple days. I've been feeling really lethargic, really. Which I tend to get occasionally, which kind of sucks. But here's a cool little thing, though. You'll be seeing this a lot. My shirt came today. PackerMan 71. And of course, my opening phrase on the back. What's happening, ladies and germs? And I got it in a 5X. Because one, I'm a pretty big guy. But number two, I don't know if it'll shrink when I wash it. So that's why I got it in the 5X. And plus, I want it to be loose fitting because I like loose fitting clothing. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into things. We're going to be talking about the 2024 Pennzoil 400 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So let's get into it. This is the fuel. This video is sponsored by Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend and by Reaper Apparel Company. Stay tuned till after the video to learn how you can save 10% off of your order. What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to tonight's edition of The Fuel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 2024 Pennzoil 400 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Like I said, coming a couple days later than usual because just haven't really felt up to it. But I'm going to be getting into things here in a minute. Yes, I know the freaking bit rate is below what it should be. OBS still being a prick. Not as bad as it was Sunday. But I might have to reboot the computer again after this is done, see if it fixes it. Because I don't know why OBS is acting like this all of a sudden. Which kind of sucks because it affects the quality of the stream. Because every time it dips down into below 1,000 kbps, it affects the quality of the stream. I mean, it goes all blurry and shit, and it goes into like 360p and shit like that, which kind of sucks. But before we get into things here, got a couple other things to talk about. There were a couple of penalties from Atlanta. Of course, one of the things was Stewart Haas Racing having their roof deflectors confiscated, and they got smacked with some penalties. So after NASCAR confiscated the roof rails of the number 10 Ford of driver Renault Gregson and the number 41 Ford of Ryan Priest at the racetrack, it docked both teams 35 driver and owner points in Tuesday's penalty report, which was the previous Tuesday. Per the NASCAR rulebook, roof air deflectors must consist of parts outlined in section 14. Excuse me. Section 14.5.6.1.a. Additionally, they must meet the following criteria: be constructed of 0.05 inch thick aluminum, must be pre-installed perpendicular in the applicable slots, and must not interfere with the functioning of the roof flaps, and must be painted. So evidently, they did not meet those requirements, so they were assessed with the loss of 35 driver and owner points, but apparently that was all they lost. No crew chief penalties or anything, or fines or anything of that nature. 35 points, I mean, that's a lot of points. That's more than half of a race weekend, because the most you can gain or lose is 60 points. And then there was the whole Joey Logano deal with the webbed glove. Logano was fined $10,000. And that was it. That was all that was assessed to Joey Logano. I mean, that's a joke of a penalty, honestly. Because he was trying to get an advantage with the glove. I mean, it's pretty clear what he was trying to do, and yet $10,000 fine. I mean, they try to say that the real penalty was in the race itself with the pass-through, but the pass-through was fucking worthless because the caution came out while he was going down pit road. So it rendered that penalty completely fucking worthless. I mean, what's even the fucking point of even fining him $10,000? I mean, at that point, you might as well just not even penalize him. I mean, it just looks like a half-assed penalty to me. And it honestly looks a little bit like favoritism. But that's my opinion on it. But of course, the other big news was Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's leaving NBC after 6 years. And he's going to be going over to Amazon and Warner Broadcasting for 2025. And there were actually some rumors regarding said departure about how NBC producers were not very happy with him not looking at the monitors because they wanted to do like fucking broadcasting, not have the any of the play-by-play guys at the track. They wanted to do like remote broadcasting, which I think is fucking stupid. And there were some rumors surrounding that, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. Sets the record straight about his departure from NBC. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. took to X/Twitter on Monday to dispel a claim from a Reddit user as to why he made the decision to leave NBC and join Amazon and Warner Brothers Discovery. The Reddit user claimed that NBC wanted Earnhardt to call races remotely from its Charlotte studios, and that Earnhardt and the network often clashed behind the scenes over his preference to look out through the windows of the booth to call races rather than call the action from the TV monitors. Earnhardt called the contents of the post untrue and set the record straight on his exit from NBC. "This is all untrue," Earnhardt wrote. "NBC is not considering a remote booth, and I was never scolded for anything. NBC was amazing, and everyone there taught me a ton. I promise that's the truth. Nothing but respect and love for everyone there that I came in contact with." Earnhardt, who served as a color commentator for NBC since 2018, of course starting with the first race and his famous slide job that old Greg and Spare Parts always likes to use, is joining the streaming platform for the 2025 season. Andrew Marchand of The Athletic reported Thursday. Earnhardt is expected to take this season off and then resume his broadcasting career in 2025 when WBD Sports and Amazon begin their coverage. So right now it's currently unclear who Earnhardt will work with in the booth at Amazon and Warner Brothers Discovery, both of which are going to get 5 races apiece in 2025. So that was kind of the thing that was going around recently. So Junior basically came in and dispelled all of those rumors. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the review before OBS completely shits the bed. So 2024 Pennzoil 400. This was an alright race. Stages were like this, 80, 85, and 102. Joey Logano started the race from the pole. He led lap 1, but Larson goes by for the lead not long after for a first pure lead change to lap 3. Zane Smith hits the wall in turn 3, and that was pretty much the end of his day. He would just go laps down. Second week in a row that 71 has basically been knocked out early. This one was by Smith's own driving, though, not necessarily other people around him. Byron gets by Logano for second. We have big pack of cars racing in the midfield. Truex gets by Cindric for fourth, and then we have our first caution on lap 10 when Christopher Bell loses the right rear tire down the front stretch, but he was able to keep it under control. So everyone comes in for service. We have a restart on lap 16 with the 17 of Chris Buescher as the leader. We have 4 wide for the lead with Byron charging towards the front. We have our second pure lead change on lap 17 with Byron taking the lead. By the way, Byron restarted 7th. Larson back up to 3rd. And we have our second caution on lap 26 when Chris Buescher loses the right front wheel in turn 1. And that brought an end to his long-running streak of finishing at the end of races, And 2 of his crew members obviously were suspended for the wheel coming loose. Including, of course, he also hit the wall pretty hard, which actually necessitated repairs and a red flag for a few minutes. Large majority of the field comes in for service. Suarez stays out, as well as a couple others for track position. Finally get the restart on lap 36 with Suarez as the leader. Byron comes close to scraping the wall off of turn 2. We have a battle for second between McDowell, Truex, and Busch. Yes, McDowell was actually running pretty good at the beginning of this race. We have a battle for the lead between Suarez and Busch. Truex and Larson right there as well to make it a 4-car battle for the lead. So stage 1 was actually really good. We have our third pure lead change in lap 43 when Kyle Busch goes to the lead. Larson moves up to second, and it's once again the Kyle and Kyle show. Bell back up to 12th after his flat tire early. Busch gets loose and Larson gets tight battling for the lead, so they kind of fuck each other up right there. And then the weirdest thing happens for William Byron. He has to make an emergency pit stop for a large plastic bag covering the grill, which caused the engine to overheat rapidly. And apparently there was also a beer can in the bag as well. And apparently somebody actually found when the bag actually blew out onto the track. It was around lap 20, and it was in turn 4. And apparently it was stuck in between the safer barrier, and it got blown out onto the track. And unfortunately, Byron was the one who picked it up. And it pretty much screwed Byron over, and he was not really a factor for the rest of the day, which sucks because he had a fast car. Chastain was fighting his way towards the front after starting from the rear with an unapproved adjustment, which was part of his wrap, I think, on the hood started coming off, so they had to get that repaired. Reddick gets by Truex for third. Larson goes around the outside of Busch for the lead and takes it for a fourth pure lead change on lap 61. We have a good battle for seventh between Suarez, LaJoie, Bell, Cindric, and Chastain. Like I said, lots of really good racing. Battle for fifth between Gibbs and Hamlin. Reddick gets by Busch for second. We have a battle for third between Truex, Busch, and Gibbs, with Hamlin not far behind. Larson ends up winning stage 1, but Reddick was closing fast at the end of this stage. So everyone comes in for service, and Hamlin wins the race off of pit road. But Truex ends up leading the start of stage number 2. Yeah, stage 1 was great. Stage 2 sucked ass. They really did. Hamlin goes to the lead with LaJoy up to second. Actually, both of the Spire Motorsports cars, the main ones, the 7 and 77, were actually running really good in this race. Larson goes 3 wide with LaJoy and Truex for second. LaJoy drops back a bit to 5th. Reddick back in 12th after losing 14 spots on pit road. And we have our 5th pure lead change on lap 105 when Kyle Larson takes the lead. And it was at this point that we had our final pure lead change of the day. Yep, it just went dry from there on out. Busch gets by Hamlin for second. Blaney gets by LaJoy for 5th. Then we have green flag pit stops beginning on lap 119. Larson pits from the lead on lap 121. Then several drivers got nabbed for speeding. Cendric, Daniel Hamrick, and Chastain all nabbed for speeding. Larson cycles back with the lead. Busch gets by Blaney for second, and then Hamlin gets by him for third. And the wind was actually starting to pick up at this point. It was actually really, really windy during this race, and it started to pick up quite a bit during stage 2. Carson Hocevar has to have an emergency pit stop for a flat right front tire. Rick gets by Blaney for 4th, and we have our 3rd caution on lap 157 when Christopher Bell spins off of turn 2 after getting loose. Everyone comes in for service. Alex Bowman is the first off with just 2 tires. And then several drivers just had issues on pit road during this point. So we have a restart on lap 162, just a few laps left in the stage with Alex Bowman as the leader. 3 and 4 wide on the restart. Larson gets the lead on the restart. We have a 5-car battle for second, and Larson wins stage number 2. So the end of stage 2 was pretty good, but the rest of it sucked dick. Like, stage 2 was not good at all. And the beginning of stage 3 looked like more of the same, because Larson he led the start of stage 3, and he never really relinquished it again. I mean, literally, the only person who seemed like who could run with him was Reddick. So we had 3 wide for second between Reddick, Hamlin, and Truex. Larson gets out to a 2-second lead, but Reddick then begins to reel him back in, which was kind of the theme of this final stage. Larson's car seemed to be good on the short runs, while Reddick was good on the long runs. Briscoe kicks off green flag pit stops with 62 laps to go. That just shows you how boring the beginning of stage 3 was. We have a battle for 6 between Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin. And it looked like some drivers were going to split the stage into thirds, and some split the stage in half. Larson pits from the lead with 56 laps to go, and Kyle Busch gets a penalty for pitting outside of the box. I tell you what, Kyle Busch and crew, they have had a lot of pit road issues so far this season in the first 3 races. And it sucks because if they clean up their pit road issues, they're actually a very dangerous team, because they've had 3 really good race cars at the start of this season. I mean, all 3 races this year, they've had fast race cars. It's just that pit road issues have completely bungled it. But Larson cycles back with the race lead, 2.7 seconds ahead of Reddick. We have a battle for third between Blaney, Truex, and Gibbs, and then we have our 4th caution on lap 234 when Corey LaJoy spins in turns 1 and 2 after getting loose with a possible flat right rear tire. So everyone comes in for service, and Larson wins the race off pit road once again. Well, he wins the race off pit road of everyone that took 4 tires. Chastain, he actually won the race off pit road. Chastain actually took just 2 tires and moved all the way up to second, which was a huge gamble, but it actually paid off pretty good for him. So we have a restart on lap 239 with Kyle Larson as the leader. Chastain actually challenged Larson for the lead on the 2 tires, which was pretty impressive. Noah Gragson was up to 6th on this restart, so good run for the Las Vegas native. Reddick and Hamlin fight hard for 3rd. Blaney gets by Hamlin for 4th. Reddick gets by Chastain for 2nd, and then begins the chase to try to catch Larson. We have a battle for 3rd between Blaney, Chastain, and Gragson. Gibbs and Hamlin come back into the mix for that battle for 3rd, so near the end of this race it started picking back up again. But Reddick starts closing the gap to Larson for the lead in the closing laps, but this is when the cat and mouse game sort of began between Larson and Reddick, with Larson trying to figure out what lane to get in, so that way he could disrupt the air to go into Reddick's car. Reddick was right there with 2 to go, but Larson was able to hold him off. On coming to the white flag, he actually managed to get into Reddick's wake, and Reddick pretty much lost like half a second, and that was pretty much all she wrote, as Larson was able to hold Tyler Reddick at bay to win the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas. So this was a solid race overall. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination. Stage 2 really sucked. It really did. But and the beginning of Stage 3 also kind of sucked. But I mean, Stage 1 was really good, and then the end of the race was pretty good as well. So overall, I thought it was a solid race. So race stats, get these done, get my final rating, and then we'll get out of here. We had 25 lead changes in this race, which is a bit misleading because a lot of those were during green flag pit stops. There were actually only 5 of those that were pure lead changes. Only 4 caution flags during the race though, and 0 overtimes. 3 races so far in 2024, 0 overtimes. So that's a number that I would like to see stay at 0. And we had 4,659 green flag passes, which comes out to 20.1 on average per green flag lap, which is pretty good. And of course, Kyle Larson was your lap leader. I mean, he led 181 of the race's 267 laps. Like the name of the episode says, he's just too strong. At least he was on this day. But as for my final rating for the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas, it was a solid race. It wasn't terrible. Even though the middle portion of it did suck ass. Stage 1 was pretty good, and then the end of it was pretty good as well. So I'm going to give it my final rating of a solid 6 out of 10 for the Pennzoil 400. It was alright. Wasn't anything to write home about, but I mean, it didn't completely suck ass. So there's that. But that's going to do it for this edition of The Fuel. A little bit late, but hey, I got it in. Next week, this coming Sunday, we're going to Phoenix. And the first major test of the new short track package. I really hope that the new short track package works, because if this week's race at Phoenix ends up being a pretty good one, it gives me some hope for the short track races this year. So, that's going to do it for this edition of The Fuel. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See you later. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan letting you know that tonight's video was sponsored by W Jitterless Energy Blend and Reaper Apparel Company. Special shout out to both of them for sponsoring my YouTube channel. W Energy is a jitterless energy blend that contains coffee fruit extract and was designed to give gamers a boost of energy without all the downsides of regular energy drinks like crashes and harmful ingredients. And there are several different great flavors that you can try, such as Dragonade, Push and Punch, Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, Watermelonada, and the limited edition Palm Blom flavor. And don't forget to get you a plastic shaker while you're at it. If you're interested in giving W Energy a shot, there's an affiliate link down in the description box below. In addition to W Energy, this video has also been brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. By clicking on the affiliate link down below in the description box, you'll be able to browse through many of their different wares, such as hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and other cool items. And that's not the only thing. When you place an order and you go to checkout, be sure to type in the code PackerMan and you'll be able to save 10% off of your order. And it would also help me out as well if you use the affiliate link, so thank you if you do. And also, special thanks to both W and Reaper Apparel for sponsoring my channel. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs, and thank you for watching tonight's video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe to stay apprised of the latest videos for this channel. If you would like to join the Spare Parts Gaming community, Links to their Discord and Facebook are down in the description. Also, if you would like to leave me a tip for the video, a link to my coffee is down in the description box below at buymeacoffee.com/thepackerman71. Also, be sure to give my channel sponsors W Energy and Reaper Apparel Company a shot. Their affiliate links are down in the description box below, and it would help me out as well. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out.